Welcome back. Schoolie, what do you got in store for us today? We're doing one of our most sought-after segments here. Something everyone tunes in for. Award-winning segment.
Back from popular to me.
Yes.
Back by?
Schoolie, take it away. What do we got today for a letter to the Redditor?
Go! Are we done?
All right, yeah. Roll the intro. Okay, maybe we'll get to that later. Yeah, we got.
What do we got today?
We got our beautiful segment that we named first and then thought of something for after. Letter to the Redditor.
I like it.
Yeah. Today, I know we've done some advice things in the past. We can maybe get to that a little bit, but
You got eagle eyes. For
I
Reddit.
scoured a bit of the Ask a Canadian subreddit.
Nice. Okay, cool. We're Canadian. Yeah.
For a few things. Yeah, we're just keeping it light.
You
here.
now
We're
are.
just keeping it light right now. We got a lovely user of Reddit, probably a pervert, to be honest.
Statistically likely, yeah.
Yeah, we've got them asking the question, what's your favorite non-official Canadian heritage moment? So I think we're all familiar with
I am, yeah.
The TV commercials. They showed like a minute 30 of some sort of maybe a little bit longer, but there was
Yeah, hey, this guy invented Superman. Hey, this
at the very end, it tells you.
Exactly. And this lady worked on some Spitfires. And
did you ever notice in that commercial where the inventor of Superman, that lady has such a huge nose?
Does she? Okay.
It's
okay.
massive.
I'm kind of
it bothers me. Like,
Maybe that's why I'm
I
into
feel
it.
A
He's
brisk
into it.
wind would break her nose. Like, sorry, I shouldn't. I have no nose. I have a button nose.
That's right. I think you're jealous.
Yeah, I am actually.
So you're just looking at it like, it could have been me. That's how noses work. It's just chance,
could have
not
been me.
genealogy.
Anyways, so you found a whole bunch. You were what are some moments that would really stick out? Unofficially, I guess.
I think I don't really care so much about this as like a signifier, but it is a symbol of one of my favorite times, certainly in the past 5 years. The CN Tower lit up in Montreal Canadiens colors. I think that's a nice moment. That really brought the country together.
You son of a...
Yeah, Montreal beating Toronto in Game 7 there.
Talk about full embarrassment, eh?
Yeah, that's a big one, I think.
Unbelievable. That's yours?
That's one of them. That's up there.
Mine
yeah.
happened recently at the Edmonton Oilers game.
Wow.
That is honestly, yeah. Put it. I can't believe no one's put it in the frame yet.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I
no,
feel like it has been, but
maybe, yeah. It should be. That is a part of our heritage right there.
It
Yeah,
is us. Yeah.
yeah. We love our
Two big
Alberta
reasons.
gals. You know.
Yeah. I thought it was as of recent, but I mean, there's a whole lot of parts in history, like really exciting Canadian history, right? Like that one time.
Oh, so the question is like, what would if you had to like...
That
make a
hasn't
commercial-
actually been...
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, what's a moment that should be enshrined
Oh,
in
wow.
in
Like the
Canadian
first time
heritage?
when I showed up and he walked me into work and gave me like, that's a Canadian heritage moment.
There you go.
So
Right?
less of like a personal...
You can be.
Yeah,
Sure,
it
it
can
can
be.
be, but it's unofficial.
It can be national, provincial, municipal, personal. It could, the Rob Ford crack video is
Oh, yeah. That was
It's
worldwide.
anything with him with a Jamaican accent.
yeah.
That is...
Or when he took the snap on that little football field in front of what I think the Grey Cup was in Toronto, and he took the snap and drops back and immediately tumbles over.
Yeah, he had a good couple of quotes, Rob Ford.
Rob Ford had
About when there was about comments he made about some sort of private part in a woman, and then he proceeded to tell the reporter that he has enough of it at home.
I have enough to eat at home. Oh, he honestly a king,
nice. I like
a king,
that,
That's why history will remember his name, not ours.
That's right. Well, no, exactly. He was let the record show that Rob Ford was not selfish in the bedroom.
Pour one out for
Big
Unlike
big
DJ Khaled. That's right.
Unlike DJ Khaled, yeah, we were talking about that. DJ Khaled sucks. Rob
He does.
Ford, king.
He does.
Yeah.
It's I unfortunately he's not Canadian, so we can't make it a moment. But when he got like lost on the jet ski and he kept making snaps about it,
DJ
was like,
Khaled?
yeah, he was lost at sea on Snapchat, and he's like kept updating, and he's like lost the whole time.
Can somebody come get me? I didn't know that. That's funny.
I was sad that he was found.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know. That's a tough one. I just keep thinking of like all the horrible things I see near where I live, but I don't know if they would
Canadian
translate.
heritage moment.
Yeah,
Someone getting mugged.
There's good stuff too, I think.
Like what in history, like recently, like I don't know. This is the question where Connor McDavid was asked about what's your favorite thing to do in Edmonton.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you saw that. He was like, the days are long. And that was it. That was it.
Connor McDavid getting mobbed by fans trying to put the cases of beer in his trunk last week or whenever
To
that
enjoy
was.
it
That's
before he loses by an entire sweep in the Stanley Cup Finals. And if you're ever watching this, we already knew the Florida Panthers were going to win. So
yeah.
there's no chance of them coming back. So that's
Let's hey, maybe this
would-
video
it
maybe
would've
this
been-
video will blow up if they do
right.
reverse
Like
sweep.
what if
then
what
there
if
you
the
go.
Oilers did come back? Like that would actually be a legit moment.
Big
That
time.
would, that would be
Absolutely.
actually it would make commercial.
Oh yeah.
Right? You see the Canadian pilots trying to jokingly divert the flight for the Panthers.
No.
They were over ATC
What?
radio saying like, "Oh, can you like delay their flight into
Oh,
Edmonton?"
that's funny.
But you can't delay the inevitable, right? So
That just made me think of a sad one. It's not
Damn.
even funny, but we're gonna make a joke about it
Yeah,
anyway.
let's do it.
Remember when that
it's a welcome spot.
that snowbird crashed?
Dude, I was
Like-
thinking about that this entire time.
She
I was
died.
thinking about it just to showcase how shitty our technology is compared to the
Yeah.
rest of the world. I was thinking about, and he's gonna look what hat he's got.
I got it.
Oh, he does have a Blue Angels. Oh, wow. Brian's flexing his American. You're not even allowed to talk about this
I'm
subject.
sorry.
I thought that
Wait,
would
no,
be,
real heritage moment when Brian became a Canadian citizen.
Bam.
Yes.
do you think there's any other episodes that we talked about his plight and becoming Canadian?
Yeah, throwback.
Do you think there's any other videos we have out?
Yeah, link in the description.
Hey.
Link in your recommended because the
Yeah.
algorithm is pure
Yeah,
this
evil.
now. Yeah.
That's so funny. I was thinking about that the entire time. That one time that plane crashed and the woman died,
Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
and she was a Blue Angel, and you were in the Blue Angel.
How could you
hat.
forget?
It's- Well, I was, like, how can you? I think it was a way older model of plane,
Yeah.
yeah.
and unfortunately, an innocent life was taken. But
yeah,
all
it's not
pilots know
funny,
the
but I
rules.
mean, you know.
Well, in those throwbacks, we've come a long way. Like,
But I'm telling you, like Canadian military is just, it's not what the rest of the world has. So,
I thought they were like super trained, from what I.
well, you can be
I'm
super
sure
trained,
they're-
but if
yeah.
you're driving a rickety old plane that folds in on itself on takeoff,
right.
then And then I remember seeing that video. I'm like, why can't they like parachute? There was a whole thing.
I think they were too low or something. Maybe I don't know.
Planes will definitely.
I should
screw
know
you up.
more heritage because I went to like so many museum once. I went to one museum and there are heritage in those. And a bird farted and broke a rock. So there's a lot of like native stories that I'm really painting perfectly. But what the heck? I mean, you know what? It's whatever. A bird farted and broke a rock.
They call that a blue herring. All right, not a blue angel.
Yeah.
I loved it there. We went to the one in actually Edmonton. That we're
So
talking
this
about.
this question
It's a real
has
thing.
stumped us so hard.
Yeah.
This is
I don't know if that
crushed
would
us.
work
Well,
right
there
because
are-
like if the heritage is being in a
What
museum.
do you think about Canadian history?
That's a
Like
bit weird.
unofficial. Like I told you, some woman flashing her boobs at a Oilers. You haven't seen that video?
Oh, is
That's
that
what we're
you guys
talking about. The woman, yeah.
Show me right now. Yeah, reenact,
Yeah.
please.
What else is there? Like,
Well, people are saying some stuff in the comments. Not like I don't know. Some of them are going
Right.
kind of wholesome, like Crosby scoring the overtime winner.
Yeah, that's
in
legit, though.
Vancouver,
That's
the
legit.
Olympics. Yeah, yeah.
it's a right one.
Jean Chrétien choking out a reporter is obviously.
Yeah.
Actually, and you go back far enough, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, I'm pretty sure, flipped some people off out of a bus window when he was in Alberta.
Okay.
That's pretty funny. I actually was thinking of this, and then I saw the comment too. There was a big, like, multi-million-dollar maple syrup heist, which I mean, it's a little bit too much of a cliche.
The gold heist. Would that be a
the
heritage
gold heist
moment?
from
Yeah.
like a month ago? or
yeah.
whatever?
Imagine they get in an accident and like they're slowly consumed by the syrup.
Yeah, well, that's basically like our
They just find
Boston
them
molasses
perfectly- Yeah,
massacre.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, we can't talk about that.
it's too close to home for you.
Oh my god, so delicious.
Your second home.
I
now.
love molasses too.
Not that kind. That
Well,
would suck.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
You get molated.
A lot of people are just discussing old commercials and old TV
yeah.
bits, which like
So they can't figure out anything.
they went a little
either.
bit too
Yeah.
literal. Yeah.
All right, what's our next question we got? What's the next point of interest on the?
This one is we'll probably be quick on this one too. This post got locked
That's a good start.
pretty quickly.
Why?
Yeah.
All
What,
the good
does
ones
what
do,
does
though.
lock mean? It means the
Like
comments.
can't
comments
post
are
anymore.
yeah,
it got
it's
too
not
out of hand?
deleted, but they
The mods would just freeze it. You know.
Oh, okay. Alright.
What is one thing in Canadian culture that you really don't like? For me, I just think it's the insecurity that we have,
Oh yeah, you brought that up. in the
especially
past,
yeah, especially like in relation to the U.S. and it kind of comes out in a very sort of cringe, insecure way where we think we're better than them, but we're actually
Never thought we were anything better than them. It's just our chaos. It seems a little bit more organized than their chaos. You know?
yeah. I
Like,
mean,
organized
certainly
chaos.
yeah.
we got 10 times fewer people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What don't I like about Canada?
I got a lot.
I mean, I never left,
a
so there's there's
you're
something
right,
to
yeah.
it. But is that just like?
Well,
Stockholm?
I'm just saying, 10 years ago was a lot different. I feel like there's more opportunities than there is now for some strange reason. I don't know what it is. But, yeah, I don't know. Between the ever-changing society,
The crumbling of capitalism.
the crumbling of capitalism, the restructuring of wokeism. Yeah, take your
There's
pick.
a there's a
list.
historical moment when
Okay.
fucking
Back to historical. What do we got?
the French premier, I can't think of his name right now, Francois Legault. He was talking about le wokeism. That was pretty
Wokeism?
funny.
Yeah, no, Canada is not in a good spot right now.
Is it
To
is
some
it?
people, it is.
Like I really, you know how I am.
ultra wealthy.
I learned stuff from you guys, so
Don't-
I'm about 3 weeks behind, especially not 3 months behind.
Well-
now. Like I didn't know about breastfeeding or whatever you just said
What?
at the Oilers game.
Oh, he didn't see the two good luck charms they had that obviously didn't work from this round. But
I would love that Heritage Minute to be.
That's
real.
really yeah.
Oh yeah, that was. And then like she's like trying to hide from the media the next day. Which is
Oh,
like,
lady got hit in the head with a baseball. That was cool. Remember that? Sorry, you didn't hear. Lady
We're talking about a woman dying, a woman being turned into an object.
Yeah, but she got like
And a
something.
woman getting hit. I don't know if I like this.
She got like a signed hat though, or something, and she got famous. You know.
Oh, actually, I did see that on Twitter. She got absolutely drilled with, I think,
Yeah.
a Boba Fett
It was more
line
about
drive
how-
foul ball.
and the Blue Jays did nothing.
Yeah, I think,
Shout out to the worst PR in MLB.
Yeah, that's what we don't
There's
like
gotta
about
be
Canadian
the-
culture.
yeah, also,
is
yeah, Blue Jays
The
suck.
Blue Jays
Well,
stink.
Half the teams from Toronto suck.
Counterpoint though, she did not sue. She took it like a champ.
Yeah, and the
she
one
had
on
a good,
Twitter is like, "Hey, I got my skull fractured. Do you want to like give me a free hot dog?"
They gave her something, but I mean, that's pretty Canadian that she didn't like cause a.
Yeah, she
fuss.
apologized for getting in the way
Yeah.
of the.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought that's a Heritage Minute right there.
Yeah. There you go.
But that's something I do.
Yeah,
like
no,
about Canada.
I would. The Heritage Minute for me now we're cooking. Is Vladdy asleep at second?
Oh, getting picked off
Just
last
getting
year.
absolutely picked off, and then never returning to form ever again.
He's their best player right now.
Aren't
But
the Heritage Minutes supposed to be like
No.
uplifting?
they don't. They can be anything.
Not
Like,
just people getting damaged.
or yeah,
I got
but
baseball
so
game.
upset.
the year before, Bo Bichette
and-
and George Springer colliding in
Yeah,
in
yeah.
center.
Yeah.
Oh,
shallow
that's true. There
center
are
field.
some that are like there's just house fires in like Gatineau or whatever.
Just wait when the Blue Jays are good again. I don't know how long it's going to take, but like if we get close to 2015 Jays, those are going to be some good times in Toronto.
Oh, for sure.
I think the city benefits. But
always better when
I was
they're
actually
there.
thinking that. I think it was before my time, but didn't the whole city shut down
Jays?
whenever something good happened
Well,
sports wise?
if the Leafs ever
think it
win
was
the
Jays.
cup, great day
In
to
like
rob
90
a bank. But
What 94, 90?
what for
Jays?
Jays? Last time they won 91, 92?
91, 92. Yeah.
Or 90? Was it 90,
92,
91?
93. Like 92 and 93 back to back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Back to back.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Too young to remember that. We're just feet-eye.
What was the part two? I didn't mean to backtrack to the original question. The second one was things I don't like about Canadian culture.
Yeah. I think some
It's more economical stuff for me. Like,
Yeah,
there's like
that's where I
a
go.
garbage beast. Like, I never watched Mulholland Drive, but there's like a scary garbage beast that comes out of that movie.
Yes. The
And,
jump scare there with the old garbage.
Yeah,
lady.
I've seen
Jeff-
that a
Jeff
few
knows
times
what I'm
talking to me a few minutes ago. Like,
Oh,
not,
like
yeah.
they live around your area, the garbage
Oh,
beast.
there's a full conversations with someone like 3 yards behind me that isn't, you know what I mean? But they talk to me, and I'm nice enough where I'm like, yeah, take my headphones off and like engage. I'm gonna die. Like, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. I mean, you know,
No, I don't know.
We got
that's not Canada in particular. I think
we got
that's
a
just-
real housing problem. Yeah.
Housing problem, drug problem. Looking at you, Vancouver. But
Yeah,
also,
I mean, not just
not
Vancouver.
just Vancouver, but boy,
Hamilton
do
is
they-
only down the road.
Hamilton. There's a lot of new camping areas in
I
Hamilton.
saw. Yeah, we saw some.
A lot of
Yeah, people are struggling, and
people.
it's
Oh my God! Did I tell you back when I used to work with you people?
do
There
you
was a
mean you
guy in the
people?
woods,
yeah.
just looking at me on the way in at like a 5 a.m. drive. It was like straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah?
Yeah,
He
it was
just
just like
staring?
you know, like it's dark, and then like my headlights like caught a guy just like full on, like T-posing.
Because he was full on jorking it
I hope
in
so.
the in
of
the
all
woods.
of all emotions he was feeling, I hope it was joy. So
Full on jork. Yeah, no, I think most Canadians are going to say the same thing. The price of everything's too high.
yeah, cost of
Getting
living's
less
crazy
of-
for sure.
Yeah, less.
I don't like freedom of speech. I don't like how there were
You don't like freedom?
like
of speech?
protests on areas I'm trying to walk and
Oh,
do
yeah.
errands. Get out of my way.
You don't like being inconvenienced.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Florida,
Well, actually, I love. Actually, I
Florida
loved
does
it.
it right. Actually, they give you a warning, and then if you're not there, there's just like you're gone. They
What?
just
I kind of
roll
love
through.
walking by all of it, being like, "Huh, I don't know anything about anything."
It's
And I
just
keep
surprisingly
going,
the amount of
buy my
people
meal.
who have the time to protest, regardless of
Well, it's
whatever
all-
your thing is.
We
It's
have the
like,
time to do this right now. You know, it's all priorities.
Oh, really? But like, it's not like 6-8 days in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and then demanding food. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my god. I think seeing people take things for granted too, right? Thinking what I don't like about Canadian culture is we're so nice that we think we can change the world from this little slice, and the reality is you can support all you want, things aren't going to change. Like,
Well, I think that's wrong with Canadian culture, is thinking that nothing can change too. Maybe that's why we're in the position we're in.
but when has it changed? When has a movement from here ever? I get it, you want to make
Wait,
history, but like
well-
somehow, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It depends.
I didn't say anything.
You don't have
I'm
to.
I'm
listening.
blowfishing
This is-
over
I
there.
I
You stop
ingest knowledge
looking.
through my open mouth. So
okay, let's go,
Like,
pal.
well, like what? I mean, things have
I'm gonna lose this one.
lots of things have changed for better, and lots of things have slipped and gotten worse that maybe need changing, right? I mean,
I
And-
think whoever's sorry, go ahead.
no, go.
I was just gonna say whoever's in power, regardless, I think you're always gonna have like a negative, like at the end of the term, everyone's gonna have a list of things that they want to get off their chests, and I think whoever's gonna come in for a new change, whoever's gonna be, whatever color or party they represent, you get to the end of the term,
They're going to be unpopular, yeah.
when was that ever happened in Canadian history where you're just like, that was a good term. I hate to see you go. Like, it just gets to the point where
I
like,
guess you could say after the first Trudeau and after the first Harper, because like we've had two prime ministers in the past almost 20 years,
That's
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah, that is.
so we've the shelf life. Maybe we don't recognize when that's over soon enough. And part of the problem with that is, I think, we only have two viable parties that people think they're the only two viable parties, right? And they own it's a political monopoly, really. It's a duopoly, kind of just like in the States, but
I was gonna say biopoly. Is it duopoly? Is
Yeah.
that a real word?
yeah,
It's kind of like two major cell phone companies
Yeah.
well,
rolling,
100%, yeah.
right? Like it's no, I get your point.
We're politically. See, I think we're not politically active enough. I don't think we're protesting enough.
Yeah. I
You
get
know,
that.
Do you think that if we protested about Canadian topics in Canada, that we would get a response compared to protesting about things
Well, I think you're
that are
talking about.
completely out of your hands.
I think you might be talking about Palestinian protests or
I
you know,
was earlier,
like
yeah.
pro-Palestine protests or protests.
Mm-hmm.
That is Canadian. Like
Yeah.
that's what the people in universities are
I guess
asking
a
for
Canadian
divestment.
grown issue.
Those universities are investing in Israeli companies,
Sure.
or
From the dawn of
sometimes
time.
weapons companies.
Yes.
So that's direct. That's directly Canadian, and also our government is supporting. We send Palestinian aid and stuff, but we much more aggressively support Israel. And
I get what you're saying, but that's because the money's there. I think
Yeah.
a big thing about your motivation to make these deals, to support, it's by money.
but if
right?
you disagree with the way that the money,
No, I know, but what are you
spent,
gonna
then-
what are you gonna do? Like, say if you guys are ultra like billionaires, and I'm gonna say like I don't approve of how you're getting your money and how you're enjoying your life. You're not gonna change. You'll change your face. You'll acknowledge something and try to change it and spin it.
Well, the problem is too. I mean,
But you're not gonna change what controls the world.
if you're democratically elected, then the protest is signaling to those people that hey, you don't have our support anymore if this continues, right? That's
I guess if it holds the weight, right? We haven't seen something where an election was potentially greatly affected by, a protest not being heard, Like I'm just saying, like, where in the history, like, you're gonna protest something in a part of Canada that's something's been going on for quite some time in another part of the world.
Yeah.
People haven't even, like, through history, right?
I mean, we talked about
Different sources,
some of it
right? But
right here with the nuclear disarmament stuff. That was like a
I get
global.
what you're saying.
It was a global effort.
But I'm not trying to be like trying to find conflict here. I'm trying to understand like the reality of the world and how these corporations work, and what really drives the gold of it all, like the like their veins, what powers them. We all know what powers them in a certain sense, but like even with BLM, even with whatever protest of the month it was in America, what change happened? It just goes away for a little bit, and then it comes back.
Well,
like, what are these people you should have the right to protest. You really should.
You can go back, I guess. I mean,
And I might bring up a certain protest that happened in Canada
sure. So
previous.
Which one?
the lack of support for U.S. intervention in Vietnam, the lack of popularity, like the ongoing protests, definitely contributed to the U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam. Obviously, that's American.
But I get what you're saying. There was a massive protest in
Yeah,
America.
it was a massively unpopular thing. So basically, if something has to be unpopular enough for the
What
powers that be to actually
Yeah.
respond, and even then they don't always. But and with for the BLM thing you brought up, again, mostly American, but we had Canadian gatherings
Yeah.
here as well. That I can't point to anything specific because capitalist society loves its police, but certainly on more local levels, changes in the way policing's done have been made, and at least it's brought to the forefront of the public consciousness where it wouldn't have been before necessarily. Maybe more so with the protesting what's going on in Gaza and I think that is still, and like you said, I know you agree too. Like that's still something to be happy with, and about Canadian culture is that you can protest the government, and it, because that's what it ultimately is getting together and saying, I don't agree with my country's support of what is happening in Gaza. And like
you have the means to support with the way technology has evolved, right? With the internet and being able to see a lot of things that you were able to suppress with older technology.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
Through,
definitely.
One way, right? Because
Yeah.
Instagram has shown me a lot more what's going on in there than any of these new news outlets. And I still don't really have an opinion. It's not well, just kind of like a previous protests. A lot of people didn't care because they didn't affect them in ways that affect other people. So for me to say that this current protest doesn't affect me, so what pull do I have in it? It would be kind of like how the first protest in the cold there, a lot of people didn't care because they didn't see how it affected them. Where people who made
you're talking
who
about
made that
you're
the
talking about the
trucker-
Ottawa trucker stuff.
convoy.
yeah.
A lot of people who I knew just didn't take into consideration why those people were doing the things they were doing. Sure, you have morons in every, gathering or protest. You're going to have the people who are there trying to do what they do legally in a protest, and then you have people who don't represent the majority. So you could even see the fighting going around here with groups trying to like ambush people in the forest, and like even here in the GTA, like it's.
What?
Have you seen that? There was like, I'm not going to say which group was which, but one group was protesting, and another group was like trying to flank them through the forest, and then police like cut them off from flanking the other protest group. I'm not saying which side did it, but like, I just like now we're getting into like positional protests. Where now we're like, one was I don't know in Philly
Troop movements and
then in Philly you had I think it was Philly. They had the Pride Parade blocked by the Palestinian one, and you're kind of just like you're going like, where's this going? Where is this going? Right? I don't think anything actually happened. So, but what a time you live in, where like protest times are now scheduled over each other.
yeah. No, I mean that's
This is a loaded question off a friggin' letter to the Canadian Redditor. Here. Oh my god!
no, but I mean,
go on for a while for this.
yeah, it's let it at least show that
People care.
people. Yeah, but I would say that it's not easy. It's not easy living in the Canada of today, and we need real solutions and some answers to some pretty deep problems.
Podcasters have mental breakdowns trying to find Canadian heritage moment.
You know what? Let's
Move on.
we can
Well,
move
that's
on.
a loaded question. I think anytime we ever were to talk about protest in Canada, I think we can easily eat up probably an hour.
Oh, for
hour
sure,
and a half,
and
2 hours
just
if we wanted
culture in general, because those are so
because
enmeshed. And
I'm not out to paint people in a certain way, but it's more about understanding when I talk to you, right? I ask the questions like I'm actually generally interested in trying to figure out why people do things the way they do, and especially in a more public environment and with the realism of their.
There's a.
country.
I mean, there were a lot of public displays. When the bodies buried outside residential schools were being discovered and stuff. I mean, there's public gathering and a show of numbers and of support is just about one of the only tools that we have as a class to show that hey, we actually have some power here. We actually have some sway when there's numbers, right? Like you look at I don't know if you know about like the Loblaws boycotts that
Yes,
last
that's
month.
a Canadian heritage moment.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What did they do?
Oh, it was people were trying to organize a boycott of
Nah,
Oh, is it
all
just 'cause
Loblaw.
that guy looks like a nerd.
Isn't the owner of Loblaws like evil or something? Or
Well, he's
is
just-
this crazy
he-
money? Like
He's got evil name, corporation name.
yeah.
Because someone I know is like anti Loblaws, and they didn't really.
There's a reason
elaborate.
why.
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's, a million different. This is we could do an hour on this,
Of
honestly, and maybe we will down the
Maybe,
line or
yeah.
something. But there are a lot of price increases that get kind of tucked in with inflation and stuff to basically prices at Loblaw-owned stores in a lot of cases, certainly compared to like your Walmarts and Costco's, those kind of things, that places that are able to keep prices low, you see just how inflated prices at Loblaws are.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're a gigantic nation-wide cartel of grocery and pharmacy chains, like
Cartel. Ooh. I like that.
right. But so, and it's not only a Loblaws problem, the cost of food and stuff here. I mean, we're a huge geography. Other like Sobeys is expensive too. Other big grocery chains are expensive. Food in general is just expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And but by organizing a boycott and contributing to that boycott, which I did for like 2 weeks, but anyway,
But that's what, oh my God.
so I'm a total class traitor for sure. But it shows it at least shows like the ruling class, like, hey, there is some solidarity. We can all get together, and if when you're together, that's when change actually happens. And like we are seeing other, I can't point to it exactly right now, but there are places that are advertising drops in prices and specifically pre-pandemic pricing. So you're seeing just how much profit there is in food, which is obviously an essential thing that we all need, right?
That and toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is, by having a broad popular movement, you can signal to ruling powers that we are an actual force to be heard, because in a big movement you actually have some small political sway.
What made you stop boycotting them? Was it just like, because from my perspective, it's like, are the powers that be hoping that we just have short memory spans, and like,
for sure,
like you said, flavor of the month.
For me,
like anger is like, oh, they'll just cycle through the next thing. This will be over in a few weeks.
For me, it was partially convenience.
Yeah.
Because
I have
I have a nearby grocery store that I like and that I know where everything is. The biggest thing too was I went to a No Frills, and for me, the savings weren't that much, and the quality of food, especially when it comes to produce and meat and stuff, the quality is so
really
low there that I just couldn't keep going. Honestly, people that's the saddest part to me, is like people who go there because they want to save money or because they have to save money. They're getting, instead of getting gouged, they're getting screwed in a different way, because their fruit goes bad 3 times quicker, right?
Like you said, it's
cheaper.
You don't know what's in it.
Not exactly. So like there's real problems that extend beyond Loblaws, and again, I don't think anyone who's boycotting Loblaws would say it's just a Loblaws problem, but it's somewhere to start and somewhere to say like, hey, we're paying attention, we're not happy, so what can be done? And
well, maybe they were a little inspired by a little Bud Light action in the States. Because regardless of whatever, like how much money did they lose? Like it was kind of shocking. Like
it's hard to say, because like
I know
I'm sure
what
they
you're talking
rebounded.
about.
I'm sure they rebounded. Like regardless of what you like, a large amount of people said no because of a certain
no matter what the reason for
but we're talking
that
about
sparks
not
it.
supporting because you don't agree with something.
Yeah.
I don't know what what is a frill, by the way. When they say no frills, have you everyone said no frills about it? Like
a frill is like an extra, like a fancy
fruit
little
that lasts a week. Yeah,
a fancy yeah. If something has
good.
frills, then it's decorated extra, festooned with.
Oh, okay. So we'll
frills
choose like the discount store.
The one
like
where
a
you
jacket that has like.
Is that what it means? Is that what
totally.
it means? Like we're just like very basic.
Fancy. Yeah, nothing fancy. Yeah, basic.
No frills.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing fancy.
Let's hit it one more.
Yeah.
just for the
Who will
sake
win
of
the war?
I got
Time and all that.
really excited once we talked about food because I was like, I don't understand anything about history or geopolitical stuff, but I was like, I know bananas, and I want to eat them.
Is there any
Did you
place
see
that
that-
someone shouldn't protest on your walks?
I wanted to jaywalk, and there was the world's biggest flag blocking the sun. I actually thought it was really cool, really, but I was like, huh.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
That's really heavy.
It's cool. I'm glad that it's allowed because you need that kind of stuff.
gonna
And
protest
personal
you.
responsibility is something that I don't do, but
Not
I
yet.
feel like I should
You will.
probably.
You will.
And maybe that's part of this whole thing.
I
is
just
like,
I
yeah.
just want to make sure we got your take on it.
What?
Your travels and
Yeah.
My life?
it was a good thing you brought up. And now we're gonna silence you again. And go
Okay.
to the-
Did you see
Yeah,
that Chiquita, the fruit company,
Chiquita
got
Oh really?
they
What
were
happened?
ordered to pay $38 million in damages for hiring Colombian paramilitary squads.
Whoa!
to secure banana orchards.
That's okay. Okay.
Just
Who?
saying.
Who? What?
That's all they were fined.
So like, what if they shot you and you had a dead
You
body?
kinda-
Do they put the sticker on your body to mark
Yeah.
your freshness?
Are all the bananas from Colombia? Is that banana hearth?
Not all bananas are. I mean, there's lots from Central America and general.
Plantains.
Honduras and. All right.
Okay,
That's
where
just
are we?
weird.
Enough,
Yeah,
all
sorry.
right.
Enough
Enough of the fun
paramilitary
stuff.
death squads.
We love it.
Clearly, this world is.
Missing. I'm gonna start protesting paramilitary.
You should.
Squads. I
You should.
I don't have that thing in me that I'm like, I really want to have
That
a worse
dog?
life just for a cause. Like suffer.
Well, that's why
That's why they.
that's
win.
why we
Whoever's
are
like-
in the
Yeah.
position we're in.
I know.
And
Well, like,
I'm not saying I'm
I had
like a whole lot
there
different.
was a
right?
rent hike recently, and someone else that doesn't even live there was like, "Let's do this," and I was like, "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do?" And that's what they want.
I think that's
Yeah.
If any,
Oh yeah.
Whoever
maybe
they is.
let the takeaway be. I think a big problem with Canadian culture, and it's not different than Western culture in general, is our complacency and,
Yeah,
and
apathy,
our complete ignorance to how we are so comfortable.
Yeah.
And anyway, so moving
That
on.
one song, you don't know what you got until it's gone. Or
That is a great segue because that was written by a Canadian and
Which one?
Joni Mitchell.
that?
I'm pretty sure she wrote that song. A million people have covered it.
That's what I meant to do. We
Yeah,
planned
no,
this out.
but now I have to look it up.
That's okay.
To yeah,
Joni Mitchell. Is that Kim Mitchell's wife? What do you think, Jeff?
Jeff in the
up.
background. Yeah,
it up,
of
Jeff.
course, obviously Joni Mitchell wrote that song. Yeah. Anyway,
Pull it
but
up, Jeff.
so
It was a very loud expression.
Final question
that Jeff
here.
Gave.
you're on a 10-hour road trip.
Okay.
You can only listen to one single artist, band, or whatever.
no.
But they have to be Canadian. Who's it going to be?
Oh,
who can
no.
stretch into that?
That one.
Yeah, you're wearing a Rush
I
shirt,
was like,
and I can
no.
immediately say right now, no,
Yeah.
not Rush. You can. I'd rather sit in silence than listen to
No.
10 hours of Rush.
So
I never cut it as a wise man.
I probably have to get a refresher on who's Canadian
great pick.
first.
I don't know. I mean, Nickelback's kind of making a comeback. They never
Oh my
really
God.
left, but like I was listening to it as a pump up the one morning to Comic-Con. Like I just, what music am I like listening to? So I just fired on the best of Nickelback.
Wow.
They just came on. And not just, but I think within the last month or two, the guys are slamming. Puts a gun in his mouth. But that's Canadian culture, man. You gotta understand. It's a stereotype.
They seem nice.
Right?
I'm sure they're-
they had a documentary called Love to Hate Nickelback, and it's about like
the whole-
their experience about
Oh yeah, I mean the
getting like catching a stray bullet from the internet. You
the
know,
over
like,
hatred of Nickelback was
Yeah.
crazy. It doesn't
Right?
a little
Like,
undeserved, but I think just
like it's not horrible, but like
it's not good, but like they're no worse than
okay.
a
Well,
million other
we
bands.
also had a Creed night. We
Yeah,
had,
I
we
mean-
had Creed night. So you took part in it.
Love Creed.
You missed Creed night. I think.
I'll never recover. That sounds.
but
I had
don't know.
Creed 2 years. Everyone
don't
had
know.
2 years of Creed
For
at
Canadian,
that
like-
time frame.
I feel like with Canadian music, it's kind of like you have to really dig deep to find some diamonds in the rough, right? Like some like well, we were listening to a whole bunch of cool like what would you call that jazz fusion bands, right? I don't know if there's
Canadian?
Well, I don't know if they're Canadian or not, but like,
No, but you can find.
no, don't give me that face, Jeff. What are Canadian jazz fusion bands? What's one? I didn't say they were.
Yeah, you're saying they're not, but
I'm just saying. Like, I'm just wondering if there is any types like that.
you can sort of not so much jazz fusion, but more like groove rock, sort of like Holy Fuck. I mean, you could listen to Oscar Peterson. Oscar Peterson's one of the best jazz pianists ever.
Just what's his name? Leonard Peterson.
I was thinking Peter Stone. Yeah. I was like, Jordan Peterstone is a musician? Jordy Peterstone. Yeah.
The
climate change is not real. Yeah, that's AI should get on that.
They're emasculating our men. Yeah, no.
That's the way to grab attention of
That-
the younger generation.
I'm struggling to find a particular one, but I was
So-
thinking like Godspeed could be one album.
God-
You just play one album and it goes all 10.
Godspeed altogether has like probably 8 hours of music. You're getting there. I mean, you want to go for a big catalog. So Tragically Hip have a really wide catalog from the late 80s to the 2010s, right?
one.
So that's a big one.
To get through that Rush, there's a pretty big Rush catalog.
If you're allowed, yeah,
Right.
there is, but I would.
I know.
And you don't have to listen to, I
I
guess,
know.
all 10 hours, but I don't mind Rush, but I definitely don't
for
like
a whole
them.
road trip, like from Ontario to
Yeah,
Vancouver.
well, that's like
tough
a
one.
that's like a week,
Oh
but
god, it's gonna bother me. There was like a girl named
That's
like
an hour.
Eve or something that's a local Torontonian, and I could have sworn you were gonna see her. It was like EWE or I forget the name. It was I think E was in the name, but it was a blonde girl as the lead singer, and
Metric?
she like
I was never gonna
Lights?
see. I don't like
Is it
Metric,
Lights?
but
she
Lights metric lights.
she harassed me on the streets. I'm pretty
Nothing
sure it
wrong
was
with
her.
Nothing wrong with Emily
Yeah, it was
Haynes from
someone
Metric.
that you
That
were
is an
gonna
E, I
maybe
guess.
see. Yeah, I remember.
That's
That's
someone
gonna
that
bother
I
me.
was gonna see.
But yeah,
Hans Gruber.
they're out here.
Neil Young, if you can
Yeah.
work the Crazy Horse in, like, even though they're not Canadian, but Neil's Canadian, so I would never, I
had a
wouldn't,
band.
I wouldn't
had a
argue
band
with
in mind, I
that.
forgot. Who else?
Leonard Cohen would get old quick, but I love Leonard Cohen.
Already covered Nickelback. We got Rush.
Yeah, Nickelback
Tragically
is
Hip.
we may as well have stopped at Nickelback. That is the
Right?
answer. Yeah.
There aren't many bands that I love that I would want
No,
to
I
listen
mean,
to.
like,
a
there's
whole
a lot
Yeah,
of-
variety.
no, yeah. 10 hours
That's
of
the
one,
problem.
one thing is
Maybe that's a tough one.
that's a
10
struggle for
hours.
sure.
Jeff, who would you listen to? Give us a name.
I don't exist.
Okay.
Drake.
All right.
Who are you talking
Yeah.
to? There's nobody
yeah,
over
there's no
there.
one there. Oh,
There's-
whoops, my bad.
Shad Rock.
Shad?
Shad Rock. No, I don't know who I would do. I'm just trying to think of the guys that who's the Crab Bucket? No, I wouldn't do that either.
Chaos?
Chaos.
Chaos,
Crabs in the bucket.
Guess who?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's Canadian?
Yes,
You know, they're
Do
good.
that. Yeah, I guess who would be good.
Not 10 hours good, but good.
I'm just trying to think of large catalogs from Canadian
Yeah.
bands.
Joni Mitchell's fantastic. I would probably fall asleep at the wheel, but I love Joni Mitchell.
She is good.
Name 3 songs, Brian.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually,
I don't know. Joni Mitchell. Joni Loves Chachi. Who else? I can't think. Why?
Yeah,
I
no,
had a band. I had one band in my head, and then they went.
I just keep thinking Daft Punk, and Daft Punk is not Canadian.
Nope.
And they are the farthest thing from it, but I can't help but just want them in a real way.
I guess this is how everyone comes to the realization that Canadian music sucks.
They they punch way above.
Yeah, I agree.
But
No,
they should.
there's so much good Canadian music, man.
Just check out the list here.
Yeah. Well, I guess let me see what people were saying.
When you were saying like things to be critical of like Canadian culture, that's one thing that I was like I can't really argue with. Was like they're that and like comedians too and music and stuff. They for population wise,
comedians and actors,
Crazy
we got
good.
a lot of them for sure. Yeah.
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 I just can't think of any of them right now,
Seth
but they're
Rogen,
out there.
Eugene Levy.
Yeah, Steve Martin's banjo band.
Somebody saying Bachman
Is he
Turner
Canadian?
Overdrive, and honestly, it could just be the same song the
Yeah.
whole trip, and I wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Which who?
Bachman
BTO.
Turner Overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
You know Bachman and Turner, and then Overdrive.
Blue Rodeo, Big Wreck. Nope.
Yeah, those
Not
are
happening.
like.
Not happening.
It's not like. Could you listen to Doc Rock for 10 hours? There's some dock rock bands. My voice is cracking this entire time.
Is that different
And I've
from-
had it, Brian.
Is Dock Rock different from Yacht Rock? Same deal, right?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Sloan. They're not.
Sloan,
Ooh.
They're okay.
Guys
I
who
mean.
are expired and still want to sing in a band. Can I stand for this? Am I out of
Train.
frame?
Well, who's Train from?
I won't stand for.
Remember that
Train-
band?
Train is definitely American. I think.
I love it.
Train?
Yeah.
Who does?
You don't know Train?
Great Big Sea.
You're probably better off.
Let's go.
I know Fish.
Great Big Sea. If you're driving across Newfoundland, would be sick. Sum 41. How are you doing? Are you doing Sum
Wow.
41
So-
for? Or how about 2 Billy Talent albums, nonstop for 10 hours?
Just a lot of yelling.
Oh, remember Protest the Hero?
Nope.
Okay.
Never listened to those.
Okay. Well, you
Well,
know
that was it. Huh? That's actually really
yeah,
a tough question. That's
Canada,
a really
great
tough one.
country.
Yep.
Take our word for it.
Yep. Come visit sometime, and you might do a thing. You might even get to meet Brian, and that might be your own.
If you're lucky. Oh, Brian Adams. What I mean that.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
ooh.
That's
Hell yeah,
an
boy.
absolute nightmare.
Wow.
Imagine naming your kid Brian Adams.
Guys, I'm a guest in your podcast.
Brian, this is your podcast. This is
I love to think that my daddy. Okay.
maybe we'll go off the record with this one. Let's cut it. Let's end it. Let's
Brian.
end it.
You know where I'm going.
gets
Why is
sued.
my name that? It's like if my name was like Orlando. It's like because I was in Orlando.
Orlando.
When, Brian Adams fucked my mom.
Who hasn't?
Oh, this guy.
All right.
With
all
the
right.
final dagger before we sign off.
I gotta ask her that.
These are great. Yeah, why is my name? Anything you want to tell me, Mom?
Yeah. Everyone listen to some Canadian bands. There's some great ones. There's
I
some,
think there is
There
like
are.
There's some small ones that we
We have to
haven't
list things that
talked
we
about
wanna
too.
think
there's
that, I
also
10
and
hours.
We can't forget about
10 hours is a long time. Yeah.
10 hours. My God, you might be able to fit all of their discographies in there.
You can fit every Canadian band into 10
Yeah,
hours.
there is. Well, just post in the comments.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we have
Hey.
comments right down below that if you were showing somebody a Canadian band, which one would you show them, and why would you blare it for 10 hours
Yeah.
straight?
Why are you
And why are you psycho?
listen to 10 hours of Silver Mount Zion? Let's go.
Okay,
All right.
Ooh, Zionists.
Goodbye,
All
everyone.
right, shout out.
Oh, jeez.
Shout out to our Marxist fans, our Zionists, our capitalist pigs.
Wow, yeah, we're a
Who
broad
else we
coalition
got?
here. Yeah.
The coalition of cool guys.
The monarchists. We love our
Yeah,
monarchist
yeah.
listeners. Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you waiting patiently for our new video. So thank you. We will definitely be following up very shortly with
Yeah.
our new one. On our schedule that we have totally down. So thank you again. If you enjoyed this, give a thumbs up or a middle finger, or I'll give
Report
you
it to the Canadian
report
government,
it, flag
YouTube,
it.
whoever.
I'll
yeah.
give you Brian's personal address so you can mail him. So anyways, thank you very much. Goodbye. Good night.